Due to the restricted time, we're going to stay here for 10-15 more minutes, but we'll just close with one more question from Professor Yoon Hee-han, and then please stay around.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll stay around.
Yeah, a quick question regarding ethnic identity development issues. Because you told you identify yourself as a Korean. Am I right?
Yeah, I identify myself. It's very difficult for me always to identify myself, you know.
But the possession of positive ethnic identity is so crucial,
Yeah.
especially affecting the quality of life and self-esteem the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So have you ever done any studies in terms of identity or identity development?
Yeah, absolutely. There have been a lot of studies being done.
And
also.
then, okay, what is current government policy towards ethnic minority groups in your area?
Well, I mean, they're not considered as minority group, to be
Yeah.
honest. I call them minority group because...
Yeah, diverse, yes.
Yeah, but we don't have, we don't distinguish.
Okay.
So, I mean, the only thing that stays identifying them and distinguishing as minority groups is the old thing we keep in our passports from the Soviet times. You have to put your ethnicity in the passport. So actually, technically, my ethnicity in the passport is Russian. So in the passport, I mean, I have an Uzbek passport. Like everywhere else, you never distinguish between, well, in China you do, but it's another story. They have policy of ethnic minorities and everything. But normally, your identity, your ethnicity is your nationality. Like you have American passport, you're American. Like you are American. Also then you're American and then you're Korean and you many things. But what I'm trying to say is normally if you have you Uzbekistan, you're Uzbek, you have Uzbek passport, you're Uzbek. But for us, I am Uzbek, myself, Uzbekistani. Because I was born in Uzbekistan, I have Uzbek passport.
Do you have any systematic system or service for the ethnic socialization?
We don't, because
no.
Again, we don't distinguish. We don't have any policies toward ethnic minorities because we don't distinguish. There are no minorities. We are all Uzbeks, Uzbekistanis, and then we are also, by the old rule of ethnicity, usually your ethnicity is claimed by your fatherhood. Who was your father? Your father was Korean, you're Korean. Your father was Russian, you're Russian. So they put it in your passport. But then also you have Korean heritage. You can claim yourself partially as Korean. But on the state level, there are no, I mean...
Because the reason I'm asking is
Yeah.
because I've done a lot of studies in inter-country adoption, so which means we have the different ethnic background between parents and child. And then the position of ethnic socialization and then positive ethnic pride is so crucial.
Yeah,
So maybe that could be another
Yeah.
good.
But
Okay,
in
well, please stay around and
the
yeah,
Soviet
talk
Union,
more about
the
that,
Soviet
yeah.
Union, sorry,
Yeah.
they didn't distinguish. It was not an issue, you know. So
Lots of interesting things.
yeah, it's
Let's go ahead and
different.
take let's go ahead and take Ms. Chang's question.
Yeah.
Do you have a quick
Well,
question?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I want to ask you
Yeah.
quick questions.
Yeah.
Because mostly you talked about the old generations. I wanted to ask you about current young generations. I'm from South Korea. It's quite impressive to know that you're still observing Korean tradition history in Uzbekistan. So, how the young generation, the descendants of deported Korean people 80 years ago, how the young generation, including you, really feel about Korea? Also, I'd like to ask you, what would be the most important thing? What do you think would be the most important thing to let the young generations maintain quite good kind of better connection with Korea?
Yeah, it's a good question. Thank you. Especially, I think for the young generation, very important. Well,
Short
one
answer,
thing-
please.
Yeah, they actually, I think young Koreans, they consider themselves Korean first and foremost. In my home country, we have a lot of actually activities for young Koreans. They study Korean language. They study South Korean Seoul dialect mostly. We have Korean schools. They actually unite as Koreans in different groups. We have the most vibrant group of young Korean businessmen, which unites young Korean businessmen. So they unite as businessmen, but also as Korean. So it's a thing helping each other as Korean businessmen. And actually, I think they have this thing everywhere, pretty much. But our young Korean businessmen, they unite in Uzbekistan, in Kyrgyzstan, in Kazakhstan, in Russia. they work together and they like help each other. So like the connection and identification as Koreans is very strong. And also, I think there is much more interaction now between them and like South Korea as a kind of home country or culture, or like historical home country or culture. And I think like Hallyu and like all the kind of modern Korean like TV series and stuff. This is something I think like maybe Korean like pop stars or like movie stars like they know about. So there's kind of more modern. So it's I mean preservation of history as well. But also like kind of getting to know Korea, and especially young people now, they're more able to travel and they kind of learn the language, they go like work. So there is also the whole other story of migration to South Korea, like Koryo migration. But I mean, I don't think that they identify themselves. I mean, I think that they know that it's a different kind of, it's a different Koreanness, and they know and they realize that they're very different, and then in South Korea also they're not treated as like the same kind. Yeah, I don't know, unfortunately, I guess. But then also, I think also they distinguish themselves. But then also there's something that unites them. So.
But many of the young people really want to go to South Korea?
I think yes, I think so. I think at least, I think many want for different reasons. And I think there are like social and cultural reasons, but I think also there are economical reasons. Because, yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and close, and then those who would like to engage in more conversation, yeah, please, thank you. That was, I mean, some part of the presentation was really, a difficult story to share, but we applaud Victoria Kim for like working on this, like connecting the dot, and just leaving the documentation of the Korean diaspora in Central Asia. It's a fascinating story, and obviously she's very knowledgeable, but how passionate she is about the subject. We are really feel fortunate to have you here.
Thank you so much for giving me the
research
opportunity
with
in the
us.
floor.
Great. Please stay around and you can ask more questions.
Battery just finished.
Great. So it was just perfect.
Are you from Uzbekistan?
My father is from Kazakhstan.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
you're from Okay, very nice to meet you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, same.
Me too.
Bye.